Okay, so let us continue on with the next literary device, which is paradox. So, paradox, like irony, is also an effective rhetorical figure for communicating um, complex human emotions, thoughts, as well as experiences. But paradox, when used as literary device, is the juxtaposition of a set of seemingly contradictory concepts that reveal a hidden or unexpected truth. So, let us um, so the king of paradoxes or is none other than Shakespeare, because he has immortalized the story of Romeo and Juliet, and its plot is all about a paradox. When Juliet says, "My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early, seen unknown, and known too late. A prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy." So it is quite difficult to understand how a person can love his or her enemy, right? How can you love? And when she says that her love comes from hate, so it's really confusing kind of human emotions, thoughts, and experience. And the paradox is a statement which on the surface seems contradictory, but really it is truthful, because as we know, Romeo and Juliet, they came from a family that hates each other, but then finds each other and ended up losing their lives for fighting for their love. So that is an example of paradox. Okay, next we have symbolism, which is the use of symbols to signify ideas and qualities by giving them symbolic meanings that are different from their literal sense. Symbolism can take different forms, and I think one of the best explained kind of symbolism is the symbolism of colors, as you can see here in the screen. So often, colors are used to represent various characteristics or emotions. So white isn't only white, black isn't only black, red isn't only red. The three of them usually have some positive or negative connotations when it comes to the meaning of the colors. So when a character wears white, or for example an angel, usually it symbolizes innocence or goodness or being pure, being good, while black is almost used by villains in movies, like for example in this on the screen. And red, usually red, symbolizes love and courage, which is also the color of Valentine's Day. So they are not just, for example, a pencil is not only a pencil, because when you try to say, "I am like a pencil," my I symbolize, or the pencil symbolize myself, because like a pencil I can write my own destiny, I can erase my mistakes and stuff like that. So it becomes more imaginative of what he wanted to tell our readers by the use of symbolism. So an example of symbolism in literature in popular context this time is Harry Potter, when he used, or the story uses, one clear symbol, which is snake, to represent evil, because usually snakes are um, usually they are always used as the villain in certain movies, right? They're never used as this friendly pet. And I, okay, so other examples of symbolism can be, for example, the poem "The Tiger" by William Blake. So the tiger, as a fierce animal, can stand for gentleness, goodness, and innocence. So in his poem, the tiger is not really the fierce one, but the tiger in that particular poem symbolizes gentleness, goodness, and innocence. Next is the myth. Right. So myth is another device in writing which is an integral part of the history of man. So we say history because during those times people doesn't really have scientific explanation of certain phenomena, and so there are times where they believe these stories on how the world was made, or why this happened, why that suddenly appear, and something, why disasters happen. And so those myths are passed down from generation to generation, and eventually reached the modern people or human beings. But then now we can explain scientifically why certain disasters happen the way they do. So it gets more confusing rather. Okay, so next. Okay, so in Asian countries, for example in China, they believe that the dragon's waking, sleeping, and breathing cause the seasons of the year and the changes in weather. They believe that all of the raining is done by the dragon. And of course, one of the most popular myths is the Greek mythology, which is basically we all were introduced to Greek mythology by the stories and the movies that we watch. So we have some characters like this one. This is Poseidon, who is the god of the sea. And we also have in Greek mythology his brother Hades, which is the god of the underworld. He's usually the villain in the stories. And of course, we all know Zeus or Jupiter in Roman mythology, which is he is like the supreme god. And oh, yes. So that is basically the end of the lecture for World Literature Module 1. So please be reminded to submit your outputs on our Google Classroom, and as also to prove that you have finished the lecture for attendance and recitation purposes, go to our Google Classroom and comment your answer under the post feedback for the question: if you will be one of the Greek gods and goddesses, which will you choose and why? Okay, so I will be waiting for your answers on our Google Classroom. Thank you, and I will see you again next, or I we will have another lecture again next time.